Morning, all. All right. News of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Tuesday, November the 26th. Getting closer to December and all that. Feeling kind of chilly. So if you hear the heater during videos, it's because it's kind of chilly. Anyways, Timo Meier has a hearing for a cross-check on Zachary Leroux of the Nashville Predators. That game last night got kind of chippy, and I'm sure an incident like that doesn't make anything better. We'll see how long Meier's out for. If it's a game, if it's two or longer. I don't think it's going to be that long because Meier, as far as I know, doesn't have any kind of history with this. So we'll probably find out later today just how long he's going to be out for the New Jersey Devils. Brock Besser is cleared. He's playing tonight against the Boston Bruins for Vancouver. So they get back their 40-goal scorer from last year, and that should help them quite a bit. Now, Boston, of course, with a brand new coach, it should be an interesting game tonight because Boston likes to play the low-scoring, low-event. And the Canucks, they can play that way, but I think they prefer more of the up-tempo style of game, so it'll be interesting to see who dictates the play tonight. Getting Besser back will definitely be an advantage for the Vancouver Canucks. Zub has been placed on LTIR by the Ottawa Senators. They currently have about $3.8 million in cap space, according to Puckpedia. They have recalled Donovan Sebrango. So Sebrango's coming up. We'll see if he gets into some games or what happens and what the Sens' plan is. Now, not on the board, but also talked about yesterday, Sens owner Michael Andlauer saying that he is hoping the NHL reconsiders the penalty they gave the Ottawa Senators where they forfeit a draft pick, a first-round draft pick, because of the whole Dodonov debacle that occurred a couple years ago. And I don't think he's wrong. And he mentioned the New Jersey Devils and Kovalchuk when the Devils were going to lose a first-round draft pick for signing Kovalchuk and all that. And it just, eventually New Jersey didn't actually pay any price for that. So he's kind of hoping that by the Sens being on their best behavior and, taking into consideration he was not the owner at the time, and they didn't tell him either that this penalty was coming when he took over the team. I think he's got a case. I do. I think he's got a case. We'll see if the NHL decides to agree with him and takes that penalty and decides to remove it. Chris Kreider is day-to-day for the Rangers. Didn't play last night. It's an upper body injury. He did not skate this morning either. So even though it's listed as day-to-day, if a guy's not at practice, it might end up being more around a week, especially if they missed a game and now they're not out there skating the next day. So we'll see how long he's out, and his name is on the rumor mill, in the rumor mill right now, as a lot of Ranger names are. And I would think last night's loss against St. Louis, that's not going to help either. If they'd come home from that road trip and had a really strong game, I think that might have made some of that temperature go down. Having a rough game at home after that, and against St. Louis, a team that's below the playoff line in the West, it feels like the temperature's rising with the New York Rangers right now, and somebody's going to have to go soon, and I'm not sure who it's going to be. So we'll see if it does end up being Kreider. San Jose news. Marc-Edouard Vlasic, who has not played yet this season for San Jose, and he has to be having a hard time watching them because it looks like it's kind of fun to play with them right now. But he will be with the Sharks on their 6-game road trip, and coach Ryan Warsofsky saying he believes it's likely that Vlasic will make his season debut during that 6-game road trip. The team has also recalled Jack Thompson. He was sent down yesterday. They have sent Askarov down to the AHL. So Vanacek was known to be close, and there was some debate about whether or not they were going to keep 3, and it was unlikely they would, and here we are. Thompson being called up and Askarov being sent down to the AHL. But as we've seen with the call-up, Askarov is basically ready. It's just a matter of, another year of that protection of playing in the AHL, and then next year he'll likely be the starter for the San Jose Sharks. Chris Johnston reporting that the team has dropped the asking price on David Jiricek. That team, of course, being Columbus. And it is interesting because they just drafted him 6th overall a couple years ago. I'm very surprised they're wanting to trade him, but it does seem like they're bound and determined to do so. No formal offers had been made as of Sunday, so it's potentially changed since Sunday. Also, I believe it's Michael Russo reporting that the Minnesota Wild have been in on Jiricek and are very interested in Jiricek, and he does make a compelling case for why picking up Jiricek would be a good idea for the Minnesota Wild. and I can't really argue with it. Just basically to be another young right-handed defenseman on a team that could use another good young defenseman while there's some other guys in their prime. So maybe that matchup works. We'll see where Jiricek ends up. Toronto news for today. So Matthew Knies took practice in a non-contact jersey, so he's still a ways out, unlikely to play tomorrow, of course. But Matthews might. So Matthews has taken a turn in the right direction. He's missed the last 8 games, and it's been a day-to-day injury, so it's not. if you miss 8 games, it's not a day-to-day injury. It really isn't. And it's interesting because they acknowledge this is an injury that took place before the seasons started, and Matthews said it was getting worse as the season went along, and he knew he needed to come out of the lineup to fix the problem. So this is not a short-term injury. This is definitely more of a... I think if I'd been hurting for months, I'd be like, this doesn't feel short-term. So Matthews may very well play tomorrow against Florida. Florida is a team that's desperate for victories right now. It should be interesting. But in the last 8 games where Matthews has been out, of course, Toronto 7-1 in those games. So I thought this was interesting. Philip Tomasino was traded to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Nashville gets back a 2027 4th-round pick. So Pittsburgh picking up a forward, looking for something that's going to work. Tomasino, a former first-round pick of himself, I do believe. And so they revealed today he's going to wear the number 53. So then all I need to do is get the nameplate off the Bluger jersey here and put Tomasino on the back. I'm not going to do that. I wanted an excuse to wear my Teddy Bluger jersey. I was like, hey, so he's going to wear number 53. Cool. And I hope Tomasino does well. There's some talent there with Tomasino. There were definitely points during his time in Nashville where it looked like he was starting to, figure it out and get into the groove, and that there was a lot of potential there. So maybe he realizes that potential in Pittsburgh, and the Penguins really need any kind of spark to turn things around. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.